Welcome to Brewin On Broad Street, a series focused on great advice for entrepreneurs by terrific service providers. I'm Steve Snyder. I'm here today with my great friend Steve Walsh. I'm the entrepreneur in residence at Gesmer. Steve is a terrific friend, a serial entrepreneur, has worked with many dozens of companies, raised millions of dollars, and now I know you've invested in more than 60 companies. You've had 7 exits.
Yep.
How do you do what you do?
Carefully, and I think it starts with founders and people. And when I started doing this about 5 years ago, I really just wanted to invest and help early stage founders. And I had no agenda other than let me just meet as many founders as I can at an early stage and try to be as helpful as I can and connect those great founders with people in my ecosystem like you that can support those founders. So I just started doing that. And over time, 1 led to 2 and 2 led to 10 and then 60. And then I've been blessed over the last 5 years to have 7 companies exit. And it's really has little to do with me. It has more to do with the founders and the great companies that they built. So that's a little bit about how I do what I do.
Terrific track record of success. Thanks.
Very fortunate.
Thanks for joining me today.
You're welcome.
Steve, so many entrepreneurs need financing to scale their businesses.
Right.
What should entrepreneurs understand before they start looking for money?
I think at times entrepreneurs have an unrealistic expectation of what this journey is and what it's not. I think it always takes, they say when you build a product, it always takes twice as long and costs twice as much. Well, when you're going to raise money from venture capitalists, it's going to take you twice as long as you think, and you're going to have twice as many conversations, especially in the current climate. 6 months or a year ago, the average fundraise was taking 90 to 120 days, and the average founder would have to have 75 to 100 conversations to raise that round, regardless of stage. What we're seeing now is fundraising is taking anywhere from 4 to 7 months, start to finish, and the number of conversations founders are having to have is anywhere from 150 to 300 conversations to raise that same amount of money. So I think founders need to have a more realistic expectation of what it's going to take, how long it's going to take, and what that journey looks like.
Setting expectations is really important, so thank you.
Absolutely.
So many entrepreneurs need advice and help as they raise their first round of money.
Right.
What type of investors should entrepreneurs focus on?
I think it depends upon where you're at in your business. If an entrepreneur is pre-product, pre-revenue, then they really should be focusing on friends and family, which is a round that a lot of entrepreneurs actually think they should skip because they're afraid to talk to their friends and family. And the way I look at it is, if you think raising money from people that know you the best, that will write a check just because you are who you are is hard, wait till you try to raise it from strangers. Then after that, in sort of a pre-seed round, they should be opening up their mind to talking to angel investors, early stage funds, accelerators, incubators. A lot of times founders think, well, I need to go to Sand Hill Road in San Francisco. That's just not the case. And in most cases, 90% of the startups at the very early stages will never raise from a venture capital firm. They'll actually raise money from high net worth individuals or other founders in their space that have done it before that have become investors. That's probably the best place for founders to start, especially at the early stages.
Steve, so many entrepreneurs need money to scale their companies.
Right.
Why do so many prospective investors not write a check?
I think there's a lot of reasons. I think the dirty little secret is that investors won't always tell the entrepreneurs why. They'll give them the not no, they'll give them the not now. And there's a lot of reasons. One is maybe the entrepreneur is too early. Maybe they're too late. Maybe they're not in their sweet spot. Maybe, and this is happening a lot nowadays, with the current economic climate, some funds, even though they have dry powder, are saying we're only going to invest in our current portfolio companies to make sure that they last. So we're not writing any checks into new companies. So that happens a lot. I think entrepreneurs in some cases are afraid to ask why they're not getting a check. And I would argue that a fast no is always better than a long maybe. Because you want to get to that next conversation, which is the person that could say yes. And you really want to push to find out why aren't they writing a check? Or more importantly, what metrics would I need to hit to come back to you to get you interested enough to write that check? I think that's a follow-up question a lot of entrepreneurs miss the opportunity to ask.
The best answer is yes. The next best answer is no. And the worst is no answer at all. So that insight is terrific. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Steve, thanks for that great advice. Thank you for joining me.
Welcome.
And thank you for joining us as we continue Brewin on Broad Street.